All right, guys. Looks like bronze finals, and looks like JAX PONGPANIK made it to the finals, which is not surprising. I got to do a little bit of one of his matches earlier, and yeah, he's just been very impressive. Very cool, calm demeanor, especially for being a kid of his age. Very solid fundamentals. And looks like he's already up to a 2-0 lead. I saw that nobody was doing the commentary for this match, and so I felt like there should be a commentary in a finals match. So decided to show some love. Um, a little bit surprised by the shot that he decided to take on there. Usually he's a little bit more methodical and looked a little rushed. Um, the finals is a nervy type situation, and so I think that that might have been the case there. But so from this angle, it appears I'm not 100% sure that he can actually pocket this ball. I think he can see the edge of it. It's really close though. Oh, yeah, he can get there. All right, now the door is open. These balls lay in pretty nice to be able to get out here. The one transition um, from the 6 to the 7 looks a little bit, oh, nice checked up English there with some inside to gain a little bit better of an angle. But just because doing that, the cue ball lost a little bit of momentum, and it looks like he's ended up a little bit flat. Um, so it looks like he's going to draw back. He chose to draw back just to a little bit of a kind of like a pinch draw, and then align himself up for the 7-9 combo. Unfortunately, made the white ball and not the 9 ball, but has a little bit of a grace. He's up 2-0. Can afford a little bit of a mistake without it being too costly. Let's see if Jorge can get out here. I've seen Jorge play in the past, but I'm not quite sure where. I've seen his name. I do know that. I want to say that. Let's see if I can find some more information on these two. Jax is from up north in Washington. Okay. Jorge, this mistake might actually come in. This might actually come in. This might hurt a little bit. Might sting. That is lying right in front of the pocket, and I believe that Jax will leave it real natural and play the 9 up in the other corner. Maybe try and get around, swing the ball around. Nope. Yeah. Okay. On that one, when we have shots that are, ones that we're trying to roll, a lot of the time we can ease up on our stroke and not follow through. A little bit of cut and dust throw can happen, and a little bit of what's known as people trying to steer the shot can happen. And it looks like that's might have been what affected Jax there. Usually he gets through the ball a lot cleaner than that. Jorge seems to be feeling the pressure as that shot was definitely there for the taking. He's left Jax either a really thin cut or banking. Jax goes ahead and fires at the bank. Would have had great shape on the 9 ball. Let's see how the 8 dresses up. This is a highly makeable shot for Jorge, leaving him another opportunity where realistically, this is something you've got to capitalize on. It does appear that I'm experiencing a bit of lag, so I'm going to check on the stream. Okay, so at least like I'm coming through clear in audio, but yeah, I'm looking at a very choppy screen right now. Hope you guys' image is better than mine. Jorge successfully pockets the 8 ball. Ideally, he wouldn't be on this rail so that he could get into the cue ball a little bit and guarantee. A lot of the time, people in this situation feel like they're going to scratch in that corner. So they ease up on their stroke a bit and don't get through the ball cleanly. No problem for Jorge, no such problem. And the bronze finals moves to 2-1. Both players had their opportunities in that rack, but Jorge was fortunate to come out with the point. Looks like they're trying to figure out whose break it is in this alternate break format. I just joined the stream, so I'm not sure myself. For those that are unfamiliar, I'm sure that you're seeing the last name before, and it looks familiar. The reason why is his father, Damien, is an amazing pool player. Has been a fixture for quite some time in the Pacific Northwest. As of the last few years, he's taken his presence more on a national stage and is the owner of Jam Up Apparel. So if you guys have seen the name, that's probably why. And also where that stroke comes in. That was very well coached and fundamentally sound. Looks like Jorge is breaking. That was an interesting break. Either he didn't get really through the balls cleanly, or the one wasn't actually frozen. Not quite sure. JAX decides to jump a really close ball instead of pushing with no hesitation. Makes a good hit, leaving Jorge with what appears to be a combo, in my opinion. Maybe a safety shot. I don't see him slicing. Yeah, I don't see him slicing that real thin on the side. So he attempted the combo and got away with it. It appears that Jax is completely hooked, leaving him a kick shot. This way leads to a more guaranteed hit and a great safety leave. I was about to say that the other way would have been a more offensive shot, but this works out great. Jorge kicking at the same rail. A bit more difficult of a shot, but it is closer to that rail, which you can kind of air towards that side, it makes the ball a lot larger. Looks like he's gotten a good hit, but he's sold out, and I'd imagine that that ball is about to find that corner pocket. Probably going to follow it down there for the 2-ball. A little bit steep, but should be able to navigate it. Maybe a little bit of inside English to help bring it more towards the 3-ball. It looks like he undercut it slightly and left it hanging in the pocket for Jorge. It looks like he's taken a little bit of speed off of his stroke, and that's it was really clean earlier, and it's the speed that's taken off a little at a time. Sometimes that can implement that cut-induced throw that we had alluded to earlier, and I believe that that's. I don't think that he's actually hitting the ball wrong, and it's not that it's not aimed correctly. That he's experiencing a little bit of cut-induced throw, which happens when you're cutting the ball at slower speeds, and I think that that's why the ball's hanging up on him a little bit. That, and there's pressure playing in the finals as well. Jorge kicks at a ball and flukes it. Unfortunately for him, the ball is kind of glued to the back of the 9-ball. Not glued, but at the bronze level, it's pretty effectively about the same. So asking the ref to come in and remove the template rack. Thank you to all of the refs that come down and work this event. So Jorge's got himself in a bit of a pickle here. If he gives up ball in hand to JAX, the balls are laying pretty open. It becomes a tough ball to hit. He needs to widen it out with some left English. In those situations, a lot of the time, moving the balls to, like, moving a ball that's in front of you to tie it up with another ball, or trying to increase the distance between the two after you give up ball in hand ends up being a pretty decent strategy. Giving up ball in hand to a kid that's pretty much pocketing everything in sight, I'm not sure that that would have been what I had gone to, but then I did come with a little bit of a commentator jinx, or commentator curse for JAX there. So giving Jorge another opportunity at the table to get this match tied up. We are in the bronze finals at Chinook Winds Casino. This is a Western BCA tournament, happens twice a year. 8-ball is in the spring, 9-ball is in the fall, and this is one of the larger regional events in the country. Very lucky to be a part of it pretty much year after year. Jorge has unfortunately overcut this ball. Typically, when you overcut the ball, you end up a little bit on the pro side, and it would have, gone back towards like the middle of the end rail if he had hit it harder. But they're both kind of rolling balls at pocket speed right now, and it makes sense nerve-wise. That may be also how Jorge chooses to actually address balls normally. I've seen JAX put a decent stroke on balls, but and we're gonna get a fluke. He raises the hand in show, sportsmanship to his opponent, indicating that that was a accidental fluke, a lucky moment for him. And again, I'm not sure if he was playing safe or if that was he's taken so much off of the stroke that I think that there's some cut-induced throw happening, and I think that that one was just not going to be towards pocket to begin with. But yeah, he could have been playing safe. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But later, Jax, if you do watch this, talk to your dad about cut-induced throw, buddy. He's got that lesson for you, I'm sure. Jorge with a good effort leaves the ball in a precarious position, as getting shaped for this 9 ball is a bit tricky now. It does look like he's putting some draw on it, and that he would have had a decent shot had he made the 8 ball. So now we're getting to the point where this is a lot of pressure, in my opinion, for Jorge to execute this shot. This is a very makeable shot, and he really needs to get out here. So it's one of those times where you really just need to bear down, focus, and make sure that you make this ball. I think he actually wants to go higher on the cue ball than that. Yeah, if he had gone a little bit higher, he would have ended up closer to the side pocket, and his angle would have been a little bit better on this shot. But he wanted to err towards making the shot, so he chose to go center ball and remove all English from the equation, which isn't a bad idea. Take his medicine on the 9 ball. So let's see him take his time and hopefully pot this ball. Give us a tie game for the finals. Unfortunately, there was a bit of body movement that happened as he took his stroke, and that made him overcut the ball and also, unfortunately, scratch. Giving up ball in hand to Jax, who should go up 3-1 in a race to 5 now, and that is the case. So Jax will be breaking with a 3-1 lead in a race to 5. And let's see if we can find out some more information for you about Mr. Jorge PIEDRA. Jorge is from Redmond, Oregon, is what it says in Fargo. And he is currently rated a 367. Jax is from Washington and currently rated a 422. So he has a pretty clear advantage here. 422 with the shorter race, 367. And he needs 2 to 4. We're looking at some pretty long odds here, Jorge. Jax is a 90.8% favorite. Jorge currently sits at 9.2% odds of winning this race. It's not to say that it hasn't happened. Anything can happen, especially in 9 ball. But yeah, we've got to see pretty much this rack tilt Jorge's way, otherwise it's going to be a really hard uphill climb. It looks like Jorge has gone to jack up to do a slight masse. Wasn't able to pocket the ball, but did make a good hit, leaving Jax a combo. on the 1 and 2 ball. With the cue ball being so close to the rail, it makes it hard to control and get a good shot on the object ball afterwards. So it appears that JAX is going to grab the bridge. I think that he's actually going to go at this shot. He did, and in the process, may have gotten a bit of a hook. I mean, that's close. Looks like he can pocket the ball, but this is a long distance. Also, the shape on the next ball is, that's pretty good. As long as that's the 4, I mean, that's the 8 and not the 4. Yes, he is on the 5 ball currently. He was queuing up low to try and get a bit of draw, or at least not let his cue ball go up table. And in those situations, I believe that it's actually easier to go higher and go into the rail and come back out than to create draw on. You gotta have a pretty big stroke to get the ball to come back when the ball's that far away. All right, so JAX hit basically like a bit of a stun shot there, and I think undercut it a little bit. In the process, ended up with hanging the ball and hooking Jorge on the 6th ball, leading to Jorge kicking at this ball. Looks like he prefers going the long way. What a shot. What a shot. Didn't fall, as I know that he wanted it to, but had he actually gotten that shot to fall, he would have been hooked on the 6th ball again. It was a great shot, though, regardless. All right, so JAX has left himself a little bit of a tricky angle here. He can try and fade the 7 ball, get past it, go 2 rails into the pocket, come back out, or he can try and draw this to the long rail on the side and back out to the middle of the table. I mean, I guess you could leave it on that rail if you wanted to. So he's done that, but he's actually gone into the 7 ball and gotten really close to his work now. The cut shot still appears to be on, but that scratch in the side looms a bit large. Oh, he's going a little bit lower, so he's taking that out of the equation. He's very well coached, has a very advanced understanding of cue ball control and where it's going afterwards, and a lot of the time has an idea of, especially at the bronze level, sometimes it just reverts to like ball pocketing essentially. You see certain players and they see a certain shot and they hit it the same way every single time, regardless of where the cue ball needs to end up the next shot. JAX is definitely not that player. He's putting thought into where the cue ball is going afterwards, applying different amounts of English to get it to go there. And even when he's off, he's not off by much. Jorge flew at a shot there. I'm not exactly sure what the intended result was, but unfortunately he's left another ball sitting in front of the pocket. JAX, that's that speed again, buddy. I believe that we're gonna have a discussion about this afterwards. And, yeah, the cut-induced throw and the slow cut balls have a tendency to hang up on you. And I think that that's what's going on in this round for JAX. Earlier rounds, he got through that ball really clean and just stroked it and went multiple rails to get shape. So just, always a learning process, especially at that age. And he's like a sponge, he just soaks it all up. So I'm sure he'll make adjustments in the future. All right, Jorge, this is an opportunity right here. Down 4-1 versus 2-2 is a big swing. I mean, 3-2 is a big swing. So gotta bear down, believe in your stroke, and follow through. All right, Jorge brings it to 3-2 in a race to 5. I bet you he has increased his odds substantially. Let's see here. 367, 422, 412. Which one was it? 422? JAX 422. All right, so 422, 367, race 2, 3. He's basically increased his odds he's doubled them basically. He's up to 18.6 for Jorge and 81.4% for JAX. I do understand why Jorge went to look at that rack, as the last time that he broke, the one ball had a very weird reaction. This time, much more textbook. Unfortunately, it does appear that. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, it looks like he's pocketed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ball? No. 3 ball. Looks like he's pocketed the 3 ball. Currently hooked on the 1 ball. It's hard to know where to push to at this level, what shots people are willing to take on. And it looks like he's just decided to kick at it. Makes a good hit, ends up a bit safe. Not hooked, but not really leaving a great offensive shot for JAX. I think that JAX is going to bank this ball. Yeah, and then he basically wanted to leave it on that 4 ball. I think it was his intent. Wasn't a bad shot. Just hit it a little bit thinner than you wanted, I think. And yeah, unfortunately, it ended up in front of the pocket. So Jorge, nice and roll this one in, a little bit of top inside to hold it closer to the rail. Without the inside, it'll go towards the middle of the table like that. It's not a bad place to be though. It's just a lot of traffic to get through if you're trying to play position for the 4 ball, and hopefully you make this ball and it doesn't end up kind of where it is now. See, had he made this ball, he would have been probably hooked. So That's what I was trying to get at earlier when you wanted to be a little bit closer to that rail to avoid some of that traffic. It does appear that he has left JAX hooked though. JAX comes with a little kick shot offering up the 2, which is heading towards the 9, but doesn't really have a pocket. I mean, you know, you can get creative and you can blast it. I'm sure you can find a pocket, but it doesn't really have a pocket without putting some extra stuff on it. I was like, I can't fault him if he decides to fly at it though. All right, so in the process of doing that, he's left it in a weird spot, but JAX can see it. It looks like JAX was just trying to increase the distance between the 2 balls, and unfortunately the cue ball just kind of decided to try and follow the 2 ball down table. I believe that the offensive shot into the side pocket is on for Jorge, or he can decide to bank it into the other side. This cue ball was going, yeah, I think that was probably the shot that made a little bit more sense. He got really unfortunate there that the white ball decided to go in that pocket instead of the 2 ball. Giving JAX ball in hand. Now I see him going 2. I'm not really sure what the plan is after that. I thought that he might actually play the 2 and then set up for the combo, but it doesn't appear that he's done so. Oh, I didn't realize that that was the 4. I always think the 4 is the 8 or the 2. Oh, I was close. All right, so now we're kind of in no man's land unless that 5 passes the 7 into the corner. So he decided to play an amazing safety. That was great cue ball control. Great cue ball control and great understanding of the tangent line. Again, we are coming to you from Western BCA. This is a biannual tournament in Lincoln City, Oregon. Their motto is, it is better at the beach, and I'm sure most of you guys agree. They have been the main sponsor for this event as far as I can remember, and we are genuinely appreciative for everything that they do for us. And so we've got other sponsors in the corner. That is Doc's Tavern in Ocean Park, Washington, Ox Billiards up in, I believe, Everett. It's in the Seattle area. Players Club United up in Washington. Solado is now one of the sponsors. Bad Boys runs the tournament. It was a great effort by Jorge kicking 2 rails at the ball, but unfortunately he gives up ball in hand to JAX. All these balls are laying pretty nice, but I do think that, yep, I was like, he's got an ability to make combos really well. So I was like, I think that he might line it up with ball in hand. That was close. Might poop the 5. Nope. All right. I can't fault him for the effort. I do think that as he gets better and better at pool, that he's going to just run those balls out in the future. But I cannot fault him for that decision right now, like especially the way that he's been shooting combos all day. All right. So Jorge missed the shot and got really in a fortunate spot. I think Jack spins this and plays the cue ball deck down table. That we got a little bit of a roll there as it was tracking towards that corner pocket, but just as easily could have gone a little bit wider and then ended up behind that 9. So I think Jorge's quite all right with where he's shooting from. I'm not sure if he realizes that it could have been behind that 9. All right, so he's fired a bank shot. I think that if he had actually hit that a little bit with a little bit more pace, he could have been a lot closer, as it would have narrowed it out a little bit. But he's got a good effort there. His left Jack's a lot of distance, and I'm gonna go with it's one. You know, a long day and it's a long grind. He's been playing a lot of pool. He played doubles with his dad, and so it can start to wear on you. You've got a lot of hours playing, and then you can't discount the pressure of playing in the finals ever. So I think that 99% of the time he makes that ball. But, all right, so Jorge has made that ball and left him in a position where if he makes this ball, he's going towards the 7, but it looks like he's probably going to pass the 7. Yeah, so I mean, he did make it back out to the center of the table, so he would have had a really nice shot had he actually made the ball. It would have changed the trajectory a little bit, but I think he still would have got there with a couple of rubs. Jax took on the bank shot, and I believe he's hooked. Yeah, I believe he's hooked. I don't think that Jorge has a jump cue in his bag, so believe that we're kicking at this ball, which makes it a lot harder to pocket than if you were able to get airborne. Babalu Billiards down in Roseburg is one of our sponsors. Littman Lights, the best pool lights in my opinion. Back to Doc's Tavern, Ocean Park, Washington. Fox Billiards from up north. And he caught the rail first and then hit the ball. So I don't think that either player is aware, but I believe that it's actually ball in hand. Jack says it doesn't matter. I'll just make this ball real quick and leave myself shape to come around. It looks like he's loading up with a little bit of top right. And had he made the ball, he would have had decent shape on that 8. I think if he had hit it the speed that he would have come around to the middle of the table, if he had continued coming around, then I think that he actually pockets that ball though. So the question here is Jorge hooked or not? If he is hooked, I believe he can go rail first and still get this ball, but looks like he thinks he has to jack up and masse it. I'm not sure that I like this. Yeah, I think that he could have got there without that, and that incorporated another variable, which made it that much harder. So let's see the route that JAX takes with ball in hand here. Trying to keep it as simple as possible. Oh, that ball is carrying further than he wants and has found the drink. Okay. What Jorge wants to do here is keep things very simple and aim for very big, large windows. I know that it makes the shot harder because it's a longer shot, but if I'm Jorge, I want to shoot this ball from the bottom of the table up into the top right corner. In doing so, there's almost no way to screw up your shape on a 9 ball. I don't like this. In moments where the pressure's on and you're second guessing pretty much everything, you just want to keep it as simple as possible. Minimize whatever mistakes could go wrong. And yes, I understand that you're going to feel terrible if you miss that shot because you left yourself longer than you wanted to. But everyone has a method to their madness. So let's see what Jorge's got up his sleeve. Mayuchi Q's. I believe that this is the first year that they've sponsored us. So thank you to Mayuchi Q's. There you go, buddy. A little bit more room in between the cue ball and the object ball makes it so that the cue ball will carry further down table. But yes, see, this is what I'm talking about. There was almost no way to screw up the shape going the way that he went. The hardest part is making the ball. Jorge ties up the score at 3, giving us a race to 2 for the cheese. Let's see who actually. I believe that. I'm not 100% sure, but if I believe that Jax is on the. Oh, let's do the math. All right, so now Jorge has taken his 18% and doubled it again, and the odds are 64% Jax, 36% Jorge. It looks like Jax is so well coached. Like, I don't know if he actually had to go to the bathroom, like it could be. Don't get me wrong. But if this is like an actual just like player break, it's like pretty much perfect. Like he was up and feeling pretty good. Got a little bit loose probably and allowed Jorge and he got a couple rolls. Allowed Jorge to get back into the match. As soon as Jorge starts building up some momentum, you're like, boom, I'm going to the bathroom, bro. It's a smart move. I'll say that. I'm not even sure that's what actually happened, but this is the story that I'm making up in my head. Yes, so Jorge is back up to 36%. Let me see if I can find them on the bracket. Bronze singles bracket finals. Okay. So Jorge is the winner of the hot seat and needs to be double dipped by JAX. So JAX is still a 64% favorite to get there. Give the fans what they want. Hill, hill, double dip. Let's go. Action. Lincoln City, Western BCA. Got a lot of vendors down at the um, in the tournament room. The main largest vendor being Bigglebox. Go see them for your pool needs. Got, I believe, at the Bigglebox stand, you've got the Jam Up presence. Got a partnership there. So I believe they sell the Jam Up products for Jax's father, Damien. Savage Billiards also has a booth. Hustlin'. So we have multiple clothing vendors at the venue. Whatever style that you like, there is a style for you down there. These sponsors add, vendors add money to events, to, they rent out space, help them help us in the future. So yeah, do some business, get yourself some gear. There is the booth where I believe her name is Mary Ann. Mary, she's got some art in the corner for you. All right, looks like the players are back and we can resume play. We've got a race to 2 for the cheese. If Jax wins, he will play another set. Let's see if I can find this on the. All right. I'm looking at the chat, and it appears that the cutoff for the bronze division was 399. I'm not 100% sure that that's the case. The brackets, the divisions get split after people are signed up. So people don't know what the divisions are prior to signing up, which I believe is the way to do these things, the most fair way to do these things. And so it looks like since the time as Jax's game is growing, like literally daily, it seems that he's gone up significantly since registering for this event. Oh, no, 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 no. Hit that a little too good, is the way we like to say that. Okay, so he's giving a ball in hand to Jorge. We've got the 2 ball that's hanging in the pocket. Got the 3 ball that's hanging essentially over the other pocket. I don't think that it was his intent to bump that ball, but it ended up working out for him. So now we're looking at going. This cue ball's got to travel to get to actually get into a good spot for this 4 ball. He's been cutting it, then it's going to be running towards the other side of the table. So he tried to cheat the pocket a little bit. I'm not sure if that was due to he knew that the cue ball was going to run on him. Cheating the pocket a little bit made it so that the angle became a lot easier to work with, but unfortunately it made it so he didn't pocket the ball. Jax has got his angles down, so now he's left in a position where he either plays safe or he fires at this 4-9. And that was a little quick, buddy. Let's get the roll. And that's the way that Jax gets to the hill. Yeah, he's been knocking those combos in pretty much the whole tournament, so I understand the confidence. But in that situation, I think that in the future, he's probably going to take a little bit longer and get real settled before he shoots that ball. I think that it was a little quick, even for him, who's very confident and processes very quickly. Such an impressive kid. All right, so that brings Jorge up to break and puts the pressure back on Jorge. He knows that he has to even this up or they're going to a second set where anything can happen and Jax will have some of the momentum. So if he happens to lose, I would probably take that same bathroom break that I think Jax took at 3-3. So he did pocket a ball. Looks like the 3 ball's down. But looks like he's hooked on the 1 ball. Haven't seen Jorge reach for a jump cue yet, which I don't believe he does have that in his bag. So now, again, we're left with the last time he was faced with this situation, he actually kicked at the ball. Wouldn't really recommend doing that in a situation that the ball's so far away. Also, there's a few balls on that end rail that are probably in the way of that kick shot. I understand not wanting to push out as well because balls are kind of just wide out in the open. But I feel like this definitely has to be a push. I've been surprised in the past, though. It does not appear that he is called to push. Oh, I guess he has. I'm giving this one back. But this is a better kick shot than he had before. Because now there's open area to kick the ball. Whereas before, there wasn't. And this ball might actually just go really thin past the 6 ball too. It might be cuttable. It's really, that's a lot. That's a lot. It's a tough shot though. Looks like there's a lot of 6 ball in the way. All right, so not quite sure where he was trying to get to with that ball. He was trying to get to the middle of the table. He came up a little bit short. I don't think he was trying to play for the bank, but wave it in there, kid. I like the way that he fires at the ball, though. I do like that. Like, very nice and confident. I do think that if you go back and watch this one later, which I hope you do, Jax, it's definitely good to uh, win or lose. You know, it's a learning process and it's good for you. Like, this is a, I mean, it's a hell of an achievement to even make it this far, but you're still doing it. But always things to learn and improve on. So he got a bit fortunate in that he's got a complete ball hook here. And kicking at this ball makes a very small ball, as I believe the nine's actually slightly out in front of it. So he decided to intentionally foul, I believe. Is that what just happened? Yeah. So that was an interesting play. As obviously it probably ended up totally different than what he had thought in his head. But if Jorge can make this ball and get on this 4, he's looking at a 4-9 to make this hill. Would like a little bit more angle here, Jorge. Yeah. You want him to go the other way towards the middle of the table. But this is still a makeable shot. Like, what you want to do here is, oh, I didn't even know. I thought, is that the 8? Well, okay. Now that's a totally different play, and I think that Jax actually made a great play, even though the 8-9 is a combo or whatever. But I mean, like, if you make it to the 8, like, you made a whole bunch of balls anyways. And with the 6 being where it is, it's not in a great spot. So, and now Jax will get to take on the 8-9 if he gets there. We got to make 2 balls to get to the 8-9. It's a race to the 8-9, folks. Oh, he's gonna fluke it. How's that? I mean, that's this. Sometimes if you just take a nice confident stroke, sometimes good things just happen. Okay, I like this. I like this a lot. He decided to play essentially what ended up being a two-way shot. If he makes it, he's on the 8. If he doesn't, that. Great play. Jay Flowers. Yeah, I believe that Jay Flowers is also a new Q sponsor for us. Thank you to Jay Flowers. Diamond Pool Tables. Wouldn't rather wouldn't wouldn't have it any other way. Love me a diamond pool table. Kamui, chalk, unparalleled. It's really the opposite end of the spectrum. If you like clean chalk, you like town. If you like chalk that stays on your tip forever, probably stays on the cue ball too, then you're a Kamui guy. Okay, okay. I like what he did here. Jorge was like, I might not hit this ball. And the last few times I've given Jack's ball in hand, it's been bad news bears. So let's force the kid to get out and see what he's got. And I like it. But he's very well coached. It's hard. He's fundamentally sound. He's just gonna play it right back to you. Good shot, kid. So this one, I think Jorge's gonna thin it and try to increase the distance between the two balls. Oh, that's I can't fault that. That's a really great play. This is what my buddy Mike D would refer to as an APA safe and a return APA safe. Now from here, I might try and actually bury the seven though. You thin the seven and you bring the cue ball towards the bottom of the table, and the eight's in the way. Something like that, but more. A little thinner and the ball travels further. I like it. Let's go. Unfortunately, he didn't really get the look that he was looking for on the eight, but gonna have to go back to playing safe again. But he saw his opportunity and he fired at it. I like it. It's a good shot. It's a good shot. It's it's almost one of those shots where it's like you have to go for it if you're the other guy. So it's like enticing, but it's not a great shot. Like you got to bear down and make this one. Otherwise, you probably lose. So yeah, I think that might be the end of it for Jorge. We might be looking at a second set, folks. Give the people what they want. Nice and clean. Get through the ball the same way. And second set. Let's go. Action. Western BCA Finals. Bronze Division. Race to 5 for the cheese. The difference in what they're playing for right now is first place 22.30, second place 15.55. So close to $700 is this set to 5. For a 12-year-old, that's insane. That's insane. What kind of pressure is this? I don't even know. How can he deal with this? How is he doing this? I don't know. Very well coached. Very impressive. He deserves the result for all of his hard work put in. This is a $675 set, folks. It looks like Jorge may have taken a little bit of a break. I can't fault him. I did actually state that if he lost, that I would probably be doing the same thing that Jax did at 3-3, which was to take a break. And you can see Jax is chomping at the bit. Let's go. Let's go. Is it time? Yes. So thank you to our sponsors, J Flowers, Diamond Pool Tables. What am I looking at here? I missed that one. Sorry. Kamui. Joe's Glass. I believe that's Joe Ladd. He's been sponsoring for quite some time. Wolfpack Services. I'm not 100% sure who's behind that one. I think it has something to do with EvoSports, though. Babalu Billiards down in Roseburg. Littman Lights, the best lights on the planet. Doc's Tavern up in Ocean Park, Washington. Ox Billiards up further north. I just need to figure out where it is. Players Club Limited, even Salado, Ox Billiards. Let's see, where are you? Bad Boy running the tournament. Ox is in Seattle. Got Mave GQs. The Player Sports Bar and Grill. That's in Kennewick. That is Tammy and Vic. My Q Buddy. Randall J. Harris Construction. I think that's down in Coos Bay. Of course, our main sponsor, Chinook Winds. Without them, there is nothing. The Western BCA. Back to J Flowers. Thanks to each and every one of you that adds money to our events and allows. Which one is this? I can't even read that, dude. My eyes are. That's that's too small. All right. Where are you guys from? Let me know in the chat. Where are you tuning in from? Looks like there's 55 of you watching this video. All right. Looks like Jorge's back and we are ready to rock. Who's ready for another set? Captain Cook watching from Texas. That's awesome. I do not have the ability to reset the counter. They have the tablet actually there, so I'd imagine that they will do that before they start the next match. That is unfortunate, Derek. Yeah,